Hello book nerds, welcome into the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the 8 books that I read in the month of January. Alright guys, so let's wrap up January. It was a pretty good reading month for me, my birthday month. It was very nice, despite my husband being gone. So reading wise. Let's talk about it. I'm going to just go through them in the order that I read them. So yeah, first off, starting out the month, I read The Valley of Dragons. This is by Christina Bear. It is the 5th book in the Secrets of Orndale series. So the first one right here, the first one is Wormwood Abbey. You may have seen this one around. It's the most commonly talked about since it's the start of the series. And as you can see, they get significantly chunkier as we go along. This is kind of a cozy fantasy, a Christian cozy fantasy. The faith elements in it are really nice. This one, though, guys, all of these have kind of been like 4, 4.25, that type of range. This was a 5-star. Yeah, the first book I read this year was a 5 stars. I don't know what it was about this, just the way that she brought all of the plot points together, the mysteries together, the character growth and development, and just wove everything together. All of the faith elements in this one blew me away. I just absolutely adored it. And that's not even to say like how much I adore this cover, like, because this is like my favorite cover of the whole series. So highly recommend this series if you haven't checked it out yet. Hard to kind of tell you much about this one since it's the last in the series, but just, you know, check it out, especially if you're into cozy fantasy. I'm not even that into cozy fantasy, but you know, I loved it. That's the first book that we read. And as you can see too, this was a chunker of a book. I literally think, was this the one? Yes. This was 499 pages. So I'd like to just say it was 500 pages because 1 page off, like, come on. And if any of y'all know me, I don't normally gravitate towards chunky books, okay? I feel like I'm not progressing in them, so it kind of like tempers my mood and slows down my speed. But the first book I read was 500 pages. Are you kidding me? On that note, the second book I read was also almost or around 500 pages, and that was Bridge to Haven by Francine Rivers. This was Oceana's pick for her Francine Rivers book club, so if you guys haven't heard of that, go to Oceana's channel, check it out. She's doing a book club, reading a different Francine Rivers book every month, and after reading The Atonement Child last year by her, loving it, I was like, you know, this is a great way for me to dive into more and stuff and check out her work and see if that was just a one-hit wonder or not. And I think I can pretty proudly say it was not a one-hit wonder. I rated this one a 4.5 stars. It does deal with a lot of heavy subject matter, and I'll put all content and trigger warnings down in the description if you're curious about what that is, or if you have certain sensitivities to things, just check that out. But this is about a girl named Abra, and Abra, just her life story basically. She kind of grows up, she has a hard go at it, and she ends up kind of running away and throwing herself into the midst of Hollywood and fame, and she gets played and used in a lot of different ways, and there's a lot of horrible things, but God's unrelenting and unceaseless love and his overall forgiveness, and like the kind of prodigal son story was like kind of played out in this book in particular, and I really loved it. I loved the faith themes. For me in particular, some of the things that were in the book, content wise, there's some controversial stuff. There is a sex scene between a married couple at one point, very lightly whatever, but there were things that I loved about that scene for personal reasons, but then there was also, I think you could have still had that and not written that type of thing. So totally understand, but for me personally, that and just some other content, the way it was done, while she does it well most of the time, I think sometimes she's really tiptoeing on the line, and for me with this one, it kind of knocked it down a little bit in my star rating, but I would still highly recommend it if you're not like overly sensitive or any of the triggers aren't whatever. Really enjoyed this book, and I look forward to continuing to read with Oceana throughout this year in her book club. Next was actually another book club. I believe this is Books in Bloom. Keisha over at A Book Like You runs this, and her book club book for this month was Memorizing Scripture by Glenna Marshall. And this was one that I'd heard of, and I'd like thought about it, and I was like, oh, this is a really short one. So I decided to go ahead and pick it up and read along with them. I'm not sure if I'll be reading every month with them, but I want to try to read as much as I can with them. Keisha is such a sweet person, and I adore her channel, and I love that she's doing this book club. It's really great, and I really enjoy the discussion on the book too. So this one is just what the title says. It's memorizing scripture. My husband is very into memorizing scripture, and I have definitely felt like I'm not as good as you, and like, can I actually do this? And he has been so encouraging, and this book was just an extra encouragement, and it was a lot of what he has laid on me and said, but there was some more, and then there was some like nice applications, some like fact whatever stuff to back up, and it was nice, and I definitely felt like it was really good encouragement for me. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. I would definitely recommend it to any and every Christian, because I think it can probably be encouraging and helpful for anyone, no matter like where you are in your walk for life. It's nothing groundbreaking or like crazy, like whatever. It's not gonna like, oh, this is like, I've never heard any of this before, but it's good, solid, like facts and truth that I think we all need the reminder of sometimes, you know, because we can forget. So, all right, and then next I actually listened to this one on audio, and that is The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 1. I have been hearing about this series in particular for quite some time, so I decided to pick it up through my library. I listened to it. This one was only like 3.5 hours maybe. So pretty short, but I do not have as much time to listen to books on audio. I have very small windows when I can actually do that, when children are like occupied, baby is napping. I still have to be able to listen out though, so you know, it's like kind of back and forth, but I do it kind of when I'm washing dishes and I have to stop and make sure, yeah. So anyway, even though it's a short audiobook, it still takes me a little bit of time. So I do prefer like this narration and the narrator, and like, I'm glad that it's through audio because it's nice to have something like that. I'm also glad that they're still relatively short. Anyway, I don't know how to describe this one to you. It is just journals of this woman named Emma M. Lyon. I'm still learning about it myself. There was nothing extraordinary in this. For me in particular, I gave it a 3.5 stars. I'm continuing on with this series, but I am not like settled on whether I'm like love it, you know, like love it, or if it's just meh or whatnot. The first volume was a bit slower, but not too bad. I've heard that normally it takes till volumes 2 or 3 to really get into the story and make like a good opinion on it. So I'm going to probably give it up until volume 3 before I decide, do I want to continue on and such. And also Alma over at, oh my gosh, what is your channel, Alma? I'm so sorry. I'll put it somewhere, but Alma was reading this at the same time as me, so we actually ended up Instagramming and chatting about it and stuff, and I've really enjoyed chatting with her about it. I am not the best like buddy reader, and I've not really done it very often, so I don't know how to and what is expected, but it's been fun to just give a little bit of like insight and stuff of what we're thinking. Thank you for bearing with me, Alma, and sorry I'm a ditz sometimes with things. All right, next up was The Hiding Place. This was my reread for the month, and just an absolutely amazing story. This is by Corrie ten Boom. It was a reread for me, so it was a 5-star when I first read it. This was my third read through of it, and it is still a 5-star. It still holds up. By Corrie ten Boom. It is about her and her family's time, kind of some of their backstory and everything, but also it revolves around them hiding Jews during the Nazi overtake of Holland, and just everything that happened to them. And there is just so much richness. They were Christians, if I didn't say that, but there's just so much richness and just amazing faith and testimony and knowledge to be taken from this book. It amazes me every single time. I feel like I always take something new from it, and I've still been thinking about it ever since I read it. People will say things and it'll just pop in my head, oh, that's like this, or you know, it's just all constantly on my mind still. So if you haven't read The Hiding Place, highly recommend it. And if you're curious about more of my thoughts on it, I did do a reading vlog. It does have some spoilers of the general story, but a lot of people know the general story, so yeah. But that was my next read. And then I read The Legends of Nesher. This one is also in the reading vlog, so if you want to see some funny facial expressions of me freaking out, you can go watch that one. This is the second in, and I've got that one right here too, The Secrets of Avondor series. This is not the series is not The Secret of Avondor. I don't know how to say things, okay? I'm not a big fantasy reader, so I'm like, I always get whatever. Secrets of Avondor is the first book. It is called the Redemption Pirates series, though. Just look at these gorgeous covers. She's also redoing the covers, and the first one's already come out. They're also gorgeous. They're just in green. So, like, they're both gorgeous to me. But, yes, I love how these two are going to look on my shelf. So, let me put this back. But, yes, this one was amazing, okay? I thought the first one was good. Guys, she jam-packed a lot in this. She had me on the edge of my seat. She had me clutching my pearls. I was set for this one, and I think I came away feeling like this was like a personal like 6-star read for me, and I don't feel that very often, but it was definitely a 5-star. The first one was more, they both give like Sinbad vibes because they got that piratey kind of Sinbad vibes and similarities, but not like copycat at all. And the first one gave me like first season Lost vibes because there was a lot of mysterious stuff about that and the island and stuff that they crash on. But this one gave the Jurassic Park vibes, guys. And if y'all are not new to my channel, you know I love Jurassic Park. And if you're new, welcome. My name's K-Tree. I love Jurassic Park, okay? Okay. Enough of that. Even with the faith elements being well done and strong, I still feel like this could be enjoyed by those who are not Christian, as long as they're not like easily offended by it, because it's a fantasy world, and so they have like religion within this world, and they have like a figure of, you know, that type of thing. But like, if you're one of those people who gonna get offended by everything, then why you reading anything, honestly? But anyway, 5-6-star read, loved it. Why aren't y'all picking up this series yet? Pick it up, rave about it with me, please. All right, we got a baby who woke up from her nap. Yes, we do. Let's try to do this. Next, I read The Mythmakers by John Hendricks. This is one of my husband's favorite books that he read last year, and also one of Whitney, one of my booktuber friends here, one of her favorite reads. So I was very excited for this. Hi. And goodness, I also read this in a reading vlog, and well, did I read this in a reading vlog? I think I'm jiving you there. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, y'all. But anyway, Mythmakers. This is about kind of like just backstory and history on C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien's life, and kind of like how they intertwined and their friendship and stuff, their fellowship. So it was very interesting. It's in a graphic novel format. I really enjoyed it, but it was not quite a 5-star for me personally. It ended up a 4.5, so I would definitely recommend it if you're a C.S. Lewis or J.R.R. Tolkien fan, though. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like, the art in it is, this is very hard to do when holding a baby. It's gorgeous. All right, and then the last book that I read in the month of January was The Blue Castle by L.M. Montgomery. I have heard ravings about this one. Several friends here on BookTube have recommended this and said you need to read The Blue Castle. I adore her writing style. Her prose are just beautiful. Like, no one writes like L.M. Montgomery writes, okay? Right? Am I right? This was a bit of a slow start for me, but honestly, I really got into the story, and it became so whimsical and magical, and just, I really, really adored it. I rated this one a 4.5 stars, so highly recommend. Although if you haven't read L.M. Montgomery at all, I would recommend, just because it's my favorite, that you read Anne first, Anne of Green Gables, but this is solid, and I want to continue to get to her other works also. So, all right, so those are the books that I read in the month of January. I don't know what my favorite was. What was my favorite? I had 3 5-star reads, guys. What is happening to 5-star hoarder K-Tree? Like, 5-star hoarder K-Tree is taking a back seat this year, hopefully. Hopefully, I want more good reads. Honestly, probably Legends of Nashor, guys. I am just obsessed with this series. I cannot wait for the third one to come out later this year. Like, I can't wait. Cannot wait. So that's probably my favorite. Please let me know down in the comments what your favorite book was this month. If you didn't read a book, or don't have, or don't want to share, just leave me a book emoji down in the comments so that I know you made it this far. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.